Ladies and gents, welcome back. Over the weekend, the channel hit a new milestone of 100,000 subscribers. I want to thank everyone in the community that helped make that possible. Let's keep growing and see where we go with this. Anyway, Pierre Poilievre recently has been running with a new campaign of everything feels broken. And if you've lived in Canada you wouldn't even have to live your whole life here in Canada. Only after the past 10 years or so, things have been breaking and things are now coming to a breaking point. Pierre, of course, running this campaign. Here's a few examples of what he's been saying. Our addiction policy is broken. Here's how we're going to fix it. And there's a National Post article. He has 1 in 5 Canadians are skipping meals. Food banks experience record 1.5 million visits in 1 month. And food prices are set to rise another 7% next year. Everything feels broken. And yeah, I would agree. That feels pretty broken. Now, Justin Trudeau had his own response to this recently at a speech he was giving, where he decided to fight back against this whole concept of everything feeling broken. And these are his words here.
Mr. Poilievre might choose to undermine our democracy by amplifying conspiracy theories. He might decide to run away from journalists when they ask him tough questions. That's how he brands himself, and that's his choice. But when he says that Canada is broken, that's where we draw the line. This is Canada.
Sorry to interrupt, but that sounds a lot like his famous 2015 speech when asked why he chose the people for his cabinet. And his answer was, this is 2015. So current year is the argument back then. Now for Canada feeling broken, his reply is, this is Canada. the amazing ability of this man to get an applause from people when saying nothing. Actually saying nothing. Now, to respond to the first things, conspiracy theories. Well, we've all realized that yesterday's conspiracy theory was today's spoiler alert. And now, the other thing he was mentioning there was running away from reporters. And that had to do with an incident he had with David Atkin. I have a video about that. Perhaps I'll leave a link in the description down below, where a reporter was interrupting him at a speech, and he had to the whole gala had to wait for this reporter to have his moment in front of the cameras. But that was what this was about. Anyway, I'll let him continue here.
And in Canada, better is always possible, but I don't accept Canadians and politicians that talk down our country. My friends, we can't take our progress for granted. We have to keep working hard. Mr. Poilievre is a career politician who's been part of the Conservative Party establishment with Stephen Harper and others for 20 years. He's ready to say anything to anyone if he thinks that could help him win. And that's reckless.
It's reckless for somebody to be a part of the system. Guilt by association, of course. With the Harper thing there, but career politicians, no good for Justin Trudeau. You should have come from somewhere like liberal arts school or drama teaching. I know many people are going to make this comment here, so I'll just let him keep going with what he has to say.
Spreading disinformation and conspiracy theories from the darkest corners of the internet, that's reckless. Pretending you can opt out of inflation with cryptocurrencies, that's reckless.
All right, so those are the words of Justin Trudeau, ending up with the conspiracy of cryptocurrencies. I think Pierre Poilievre mentioned prior to this that people were moving into cryptocurrencies to avoid inflation. He wasn't suggesting people do that. Of course, this is one of the talking points from Trudeau. Now, many people on the internet making videos to demonstrate what Canada's broken being broken feels like. And here's Justin Trudeau's own words being used against him again in many videos here.
Well, let me be very clear for the record. Canada is not broken.
More people are turning to food banks than ever before in our history, and we can't be continuously called on to respond to an ever-growing level of need.
Canada is not broken.
Well, Canadians who want to travel are facing some big headaches, lineups and delays at the country's biggest airports, and before you can even get to the airport, more lines to get a passport. Here is a look at downtown Toronto today with people lined up. You can see them there down the block.
Canada is not broken.
Whether you're just turning down the thermostat to save or spending big money on a heat pump, energy watchers say Canadians should get used to higher heating prices.
Canada is not broken.
Canadians aren't getting health care. It's really as simple as that. Our emergency departments are overwhelmed. We've got people waiting sometimes, 18, 24 hours to be seen. Elders sitting on gurneys for days waiting to be admitted to hospital.
Canada is not broken.
Some more proof this morning that Canadians are having trouble keeping up with rising prices. A Renew report is out today that shows Canadians loading up on debt, carrying more on credit cards, trying to make ends meet.
Canada is not broken.
Canada is feeling pretty broken. We're looking at a lot of these situations. This coming from Global News this morning. I noticed this tweet out there saying the new reality takes viewers inside a world where tragically many disabled people who now qualify for doctor-assisted dying says that it's the only way they can see an escape from the cycle of poverty. Watch on Global News.
Survive. Saturday on the new reality, struggling to survive.
The problem is not really the disability, it is the poverty.
Why assisted dying is an option for Canadians who can't afford the cost of living. The new reality, Saturday at 7 on Global.
I don't know if does that feel broken enough for you? Honestly, this is unbelievable. Now, Pierre Poilievre lashing back with his own video on his Twitter account, showing exactly, just more of this.
A leader takes responsibility when things go wrong, and this Prime Minister has consistently avoided taking any responsibility for this sordid mess.
Inflation in Canada has hit 8.1%, higher than at any time since 1983.
We have some of the highest gas prices in North America.
And we've reached another record.
With home prices across Canada surging more than 31%.
As the growth in rent prices in the second quarter was the fastest pace on record.
People forced to decide between paying the rent or buying groceries.
Well, nearly a quarter of Canadians say they are eating less than they should.
Food prices rose at our fastest pace in almost 40 years.
More Canadians than ever are reportedly reaching out to food banks to feed their families.
At first there were shortages, baby formula.
Pharmacies are reporting panic buying as children's fever medications
looked just like this.
Drugs are more potent, more available than ever.
It's a substantial rise over previous years.
Shootings, violent crimes, gun crimes and homicide,
stabbings, hate crimes in Toronto,
attacks on strangers,
and deadly assaults.
These are all on the rise.
On the rise.
Continue to rise.
This is the toughest time in our history. This is the toughest time in our history.
A leader takes responsibility when things go wrong, and this Prime Minister has consistently avoided taking any responsibility for this sordid mess.
There you have it. So Pierre Poilievre jumping back at and backlashing or throwing it back into the court of Justin Trudeau after his comments of saying Canada is not broken. Canada is Canada, apparently. That means that Canada isn't broken when you say that. But Justin Trudeau, of course, going onto social media to show how to give to the poorest in Canada. Of course, with his usual post op, you just want to have his photo op, and that's basically what I believe that these things are for. I don't think he. Let's just see. I said Trudeau showing the importance of giving because of all the poverty he's brought to Canada. in his tenure. Now, this is his Canada. You can only say that he's responsible for a lot of this stuff that's been going on, as of course he has a quasi-majority government with the help of Jagmeet Singh and his NDP party. I mean, Canada voted for a minority leadership. I mean, I'm not happy that the Liberals are the leadership, but Canada did vote for a minority. And when that happens, that's not a mandate to do as you please. That is Canada voting virtually no confidence, but also was voting no confidence for the opposition at the time. But we have the opportunity to bring, because I believe a certain number of Canadians would like to see a new election moving forward, but we have the coalition making sure that won't happen until 2025. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Where are we in Canada? Do you feel that Canada is broken? Are you feeling like you're at the breaking point? Let me know in the comments, and we'll get this conversation going further. And yeah, that's where we are this morning. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for bringing the channel to 100,000 subscribers. This is a milestone that, hell, I didn't know we would get here. I didn't know that this was down the pipe. We'll see how much further we can get going with this community. Probably one of the best communities on the internet, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. So thank you so much, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Keep on trucking.